In this video, I will be ranking every structure in Minecraft on a tier list, from desert wells to ancient cities. This is the Minecraft structure tier list. Also, if you're currently watching this video and there's a big red button labeled subscribe, I highly recommend that you touch it. Anyways, this tier list is 5 tiers. Best, useful, okay, bad, and pointless. Also, I just got my wisdom teeth out like a couple days ago, so if I sound weird, that's why. Also, we kinda hit 1,000 subscribers in like a week, so yeah, thanks. Anyways, here's more content. First, the humble village. Villagers can be very useful at every stage of the game. They're good for speedrunners and early game players because the hay bales and the farms can provide a food source, and iron golems can give you iron with slight help from an axe. And the blacksmiths usually contain armor and even diamonds. And villages contain villagers. And if you ever get mad at Minecraft, villagers make excellent punching bags. They can also be bred and put into a trading hall late game, so they can provide you with any book you want without complaining. In my opinion, villages are some of the best naturally generating structures in all of Minecraft because of how useful they are at different stages of the game. Alright, now into mineshafts. They spawn underground, most of the time. They have minecart chests which could contain diamonds or even notch apples. They're also made up of long tunnels which expose lots of different ore, and they're covered in rails which could be useful if you're into building roller coasters. However, if you don't have a photographic memory, then they could be a little bit confusing to navigate. Overall, I would say that mineshafts are a useful tier. Ruin portals. They can be found in any biome and usually have the materials necessary to make a nether portal, so they could be useful in the early game. They also contain a chest that usually has some gold armor, which isn't amazing, but occasionally they have notch apples in them. But to be honest, they're not that good outside of early games, so I would say that they're a strong okay tier. Now strongholds. They contain an end portal which allows players to travel to the end dimension, where they can access elytras, shulker boxes, and even fight the ender dragon. There are also libraries, which are good if you need a ton of books. And the chests in the stronghold aren't that bad. However, all the walls are infested with silverfish, which can be very annoying, especially during a speedrun. But since the stronghold allows you to travel to another dimension, I would say that's okay. Dungeons. Otherwise known as mob spawners. They spawn mobs. What else did you expect? They could have notch apples, music discs, or name tags, but that's about it. You can make an early game mob farm, but it's not really that useful later in the game, so I'm gonna have to give it a bad. Not the best, but also not the worst. Now onto one of the greatest structures in all of Minecraft, the desert well. At first glance, it might not seem that exciting, but the desert well can provide you with a source of water, and you can imagine your own theories as to how it got there. Maybe ancient civilizations. It's also pretty rare, so finding one could be a monumental discovery. However, personally, I just think that the well is just too complicated with its elegant design and incredible functionality, so it's going in the bad tier. And now sticking with the desert theme, we have desert pyramids. Located in the desert, they can provide players with notch apples or even string if you get lucky. Also, not a lot of people know this, but the top portion of the pyramid is the perfect size for a beacon base. Overall, the desert pyramid is pretty useful. Igloos. Let's be honest, at first glance they might not seem that important or useful, but they're actually kinda interesting. If you smelt something in the furnace, you will melt the ice on the window, possibly revealing a secret basement containing a zombie villager. It's your job to take the golden apple and potion to cure the zombie villager into a normal villager. And not many people actually knew that there was this much thought that went into igloos. This structure was okay. Now jungle temples. They have traps and redstone lever puzzles, but I don't think that anyone actually does a lever combination, and besides, the loot is terrible. This structure is kinda pointless. The pillager outpost, on the other hand, is actually pretty useful. You can make a raid farm, basically allowing you to get infinite emeralds and totems. The loot you get from the structure itself isn't anything too special, but the fact that you can make an overpowered farm makes it a strong best tier. Moving on to swamp huts. They have a chance to spawn black cats and witches, allowing you to make a witch farm, but the structure itself isn't that great. It's just a little hut in the middle of the swamp, and not many people get too excited when finding them. This one's gonna have to be a high bad tier. Ancient cities, the new structure that Mojang added to the game in the 1.19 Wild update. Ancient cities can spawn in the deep dark, and they have pretty decent loot. They also have skull shriekers which can spawn the warden, and it's the most dangerous structure in all of Minecraft, but the loot is some of the best in the game. Overall, I would give the structure a best tier. Now Woodland Mansions. Basically big rare houses that only spawn in the middle of dark oak forests. The loot you get from the mansion itself isn't that amazing, but it can spawn evokers, which can drop totems of undying when killed. They also have a lot of different unique rooms, and even a secret room. This structure's an okay tier. Ocean ruins. Somewhat hard to find. Bad loot. Not that interesting. Pointless. Shipwrecks. Shipwrecks can spawn underwater or sometimes even on land. They contain decent loot and are relatively easy to find, and they can be very useful early game. The chests usually have iron, emeralds, or even diamonds. Not to mention buried treasure maps, which can lead to diamonds or the heart of the sea. This one's a high useful tier. Sticking with the ocean theme, next we have ocean monuments. For some unexplained reason, they tend to spawn in the ocean. They have guardians and elder guardians, which can give you mining fatigue, so it takes forever to break blocks, but they can be useful for an XP farm. And if you do it right, it could be one of the best sources of XP in the game. This is also a high useful tier. Moving very far away from the ocean now is the Nether Fortress. Nether Fortresses are crucial at beating the game because of blazes, which drop blaze rods. You can also use wither skeleton skulls to spawn the wither, which, as you might have guessed, drop from wither skeletons. The chest might contain diamonds, and there's also netherwort, which is useful for brewing. The structure is also a high useful tier. Now Bastion Remnants. The remnants of bastions. Very dangerous to explore if you're not careful, but the loot is some of the best in the game. Diamonds, ancient debris, netherite, and even golden nuggets. I mean, what else is there to say? Best tier. And finally, we've reached the end. The end city, that is. End cities are purple structures that spawn on the outer end islands. They contain shulkers, which when killed drop shulker shells, and you can use them to make shulker boxes. And also elytras, which allow you to fly, and diamond armor, and diamond tools, and enchantment books, and also dragon heads. This is also one of the best structures in the game. Thanks for watching, bye.